Hi everyone, welcome back to the cottage. Today we're going to be having a conversation about happiness and how minimalism can relate to it. Since you are here watching this video, it probably means that you are curious about minimalism and wondering if it can help you improve your life. And many times when people consider the improvement of life, they see a direct correlation with happiness. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right to the chase here at the beginning of the video. Can minimalism bring you happiness? And my short answer for that is no. Instead, I believe that minimalism can lead to a happier life if you use it in a way that is beneficial for you. As with anything, we can take it to an extreme. If we go into a minimalist mindset thinking that it is a game to see how little that we can own and we need to eliminate most everything from our lives, or we put in place too many set rigid boundaries and rules, it can actually end up being a bigger stressor and burden on your life. The magic of minimalism is making it work for you, to adjust it to fit your own life. So let's take a minute to explore the psychology behind happiness, the basic idea of what makes a person happy. Now, this is going to be a very general overview. I don't claim to be a psychology expert, and so I encourage you, if this is something that interests you, to explore it further and do some of your own research. I want to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and surely you have heard about this. All the way back in elementary school, we were given a basic overview of it. It shows and presents itself as a pyramidal shape where there are different levels of needs that a person has to fulfill within their life. And these needs are always overlapping, so it doesn't mean that if you have reached the next level on the pyramid that you no longer need to think about the needs below you. They are all sort of interconnected, but the idea is that each level needs to be met before you can go and move to the next level of the hierarchy. We're going to start at the base, the foundation of this pyramid, which includes all basic items needed for humanity survival, which is food, shelter, clothing, those types of things. And right above that is the level of safety, which includes health and financial security. These are the basic, more concrete needs that we have to establish in our lives to set ourselves up to move to the higher, more abstract levels. And those levels include love and belonging, which is your family and friendships and your feelings of acceptance, esteem and respect both for ourselves and for others, and the realization that what we do in life matters. And finally, at the very top of this pyramid is self-actualization, and that is when we become all who we were created to be. We're pursuing our goals and realizing our full potential as a human being, and in doing so, we are doing the greatest good for all of mankind. And these top three levels are all psychological needs. They're more abstract in their thinking, but interestingly enough, it is only in these top three levels that we're able to improve our happiness long term. Here's the thing though, marketing and our human nature has sort of tricked us into thinking that we can find more happiness by buying more things to meet those basic needs at the bottom of the pyramid, or focusing more of our attention on them. And that is just simply not true, but we have these thoughts. If you're feeling down, feeling bad, you need some shopping therapy. Go out and buy yourself a new outfit, you will feel great. If you're feeling maybe less than, you need to definitely make more money. It's all about accumulating more and more of those components that are at the base of the pyramid. And yes, of course, there is likely to be a small spike in happiness when we buy something new or we get a raise, but eventually these all tend to level out. And that is because those base needs on the pyramid, the lower two levels, they only need to be met. They can't really be improved upon. There is a set limit to the amount of happiness that they can bring us. I have had the pleasure of designing or aiding in the design of multiple houses over the course of the last 15 years, and I have seen a variety of clientele. They all come to the table with different design ideas. I personally have designed a home for my own family, but the interesting thing is that every single design project that begins, that starts, I know for a fact that certain things will be met. There are going to be certain code requirements that are going to dictate what can be done for not only the safety of the homeowner, but also the safety of the community. There's going to be a foundation, check. There's going to be a roof, check. There's going to be some level of weatherizing and keeping the elements out of this home. There needs to be at least one bathroom. These are all very basic things that are covered no matter what type of house is designed. So really anything above the basics would be considered the design part of the home. And I would argue that whether it is a small cabin or a huge mansion, the level of shelter is essentially identical. Just because a home is bigger and better and more well-designed, it doesn't mean that it's a better shelter, that it's more safe or secure. And I give you this example as a way to put a spotlight on the fact that we need to be very mindful and careful about the way we view the importance of those lower two levels. Of course, they are very important in our happiness. They are the foundation after all. But what can tend to happen is that we believe if we have more and more on those levels or get bigger and better items to help us in those levels, that we will be happier. And in reality, what tends to happen is that those extras in those two lower levels tend to cloud our ability to see what is possible in those higher levels where the true happiness actually is. I feel like this is actually a really good time of year to be having this conversation because many of us are thinking about higher things. We are thinking about goals and aspirations and visions for the next 12 months. And I would argue that it's unlikely many of us are thinking, I want to buy more shoes, or I want to have more of this or that. We likely set our goals on things like, I want to learn a musical instrument, I want to train for a marathon. These are all the higher levels on the pyramid, and that is really what our focus is on typically this time of the year. So then let's bring this all full circle and talk about how a minimalist mindset can affect happiness. And that is by removing the excess from the base of this pyramid. That's going to free up mental energy and, quite honestly, time for us to be able to move up higher on the hierarchy. Take a second and think about this. What are some things you want to be doing? Things that you have a heart for, a passion for, you know deep down in your soul that by doing this thing you will feel more fulfillment in your life. It could be volunteering at a soup kitchen or maybe practicing a skill that you love. It could be something as simple as playing with your child, spending more time with your spouse. You could have a whole host of desires. Now think about all of the roadblocks, the things that are standing in the way of you pursuing those things that you want to be doing. It could be the amount of time, the absurd amount of time that is spent going through your stuffed closet looking for an outfit that you feel good in and that fits well, or searching high and low for a Tupperware lid that you just can't find the top two. That can be really infuriating. Maybe it's maintaining a large yard that you really don't care much about, but it takes all of this time, or cleaning things that you never ever use, but they're on display, so you have to dust them, you have to clean them. By removing these extra burdens, it's going to free up time for you to, again, move up in the pyramid. And again, minimalism is not a magic pill. It doesn't mean that if you call yourself a minimalist that suddenly everything is all sunshine and roses. It has much more to do with the way you apply the principles in your life, and more importantly, with the mindset shift that happens when you're practicing these principles. That is what can lead to increased happiness and fulfillment. And really at its core, I would say that minimalism is becoming content with realizing that your basic needs are met. Minimalism is a lifestyle. It's a tool that can help a person find freedom from worry, guilt, and overwhelm. And the beautiful thing is that when a person is feeling truly content and recognizing that the basic needs, those lower levels of the pyramid, are met, when they have that realization, they free themselves from the burden of worry, because they're not worried that there's going to be enough food to eat. They know that that need is met. They're not feeling guilty about spending more money than they have or that they make because their finances are in check. They're not overwhelmed by clutter or having too much inventory to manage because that is at a perfect level for them in their life. And so finding simplicity in those lower levels, when you reduce worry, guilt, and overwhelm, I guarantee the level of happiness is only going to go up, and that means you're going to be able to go up higher on that level of happiness on the pyramid. And if that is something that is interesting to you, something you want to learn more about, I definitely think that minimalism would be a great path to take. If you want to learn more about minimalism, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and stick around. I have a new video every single week, including tons of videos from the past where I give my own personal testimony of why I became a minimalist, why I love this lifestyle, and how it brings me happiness. I would love for you to stick around and learn more about it here. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.